We've got a lot going on in October, as you can see here. Pereira versus Roundtree, Bivol versus Beterbiev, Topuria versus Holloway, and Whitaker versus Chimaev, and Ngannou versus Ferreira. And in this video, I'll be going over each fight and how I see it playing out, and also possible outcomes that could go along with it. Now, starting with Pereira versus Roundtree, don't count out Roundtree here, man. Roundtree is a guy who is a legit striker. Went to Thailand. He is Bangkok ready, as they say, and he's gonna go in there and he's gonna strike with Pereira. And in my opinion, he's the best striker Pereira has fought since Israel Adesanya. And Roundtree's got some power to him, and we've seen Pereira get hurt before. We've seen him hurt numerous times, actually, not just in the UFC, but just in his kickboxing career in general. He is a bit chinny. I do not fully believe in his chin, and I'm not saying Pereira loses, but I'm just saying do not count out Roundtree. I would lean towards Pereira based on his pedigree of striking. So he's fought at the highest level in striking, as opposed to Roundtree that he's kind of just making it to the highest level of MMA, right? I mean, I suppose you could say just being in the UFC is highest level of MMA, but now he's fighting, championship fights. He's fighting number one contender fights. He's at the highest level of even the highest level inside the UFC. You get me? So Pereira has been in both, and we're going to see how that plays out. I would actually like to see Roundtree mix in his grappling here. I don't want him to live in the striking. That's the mistake that Yuri made. If you watch the Yuri fights, you'll see. I want to say this was the rematch. No, it was the first fight. Yuri hurts Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira was hurt, and he was rocked, and rather than going in on a takedown and trying to do something there, Yuri just kept striking with him, and he allowed Pereira to calm down and clinch up and get his wits back within him. And then he started taking calf kicks, and then it was a completely different fight, and Yuri gets knocked out. Early stoppage or not, the fight was over. In my opinion, if you're gonna fight Pereira, you have to mix it up. You cannot stay in his world. You could be in his world for a little bit. It works out for people. Like you could have success. You could land punches on the guy, but you can't live in his world. You have to mix it up and take him into places where he's uncomfortable, which is grappling. Test the jiu-jitsu black belt that he has, that he earned against Jamal Hill when he didn't even grapple 1 second in that fight, okay? The most grappling he had in that fight was Herb Dean pulling him off of Jamal Hill, okay? That was the most grappling he had in that fight, which is 0. And you don't get a black belt in my eyes by doing that, but I'm a commentator. I'm not the guy giving out black belts, you feel me? But it is what it is. So test his black belt, put him on his ass, and also strike with him. Mix it up. If Israel Adesanya could take down Alex Pereira and have success, you can take down Israel Adesanya. I mean, you could take down Alex Pereira and have success. You get me? Okay. Moving on to, I don't care about this fight here, Pennington versus Pena. I'm just going to say that right outright. I would prefer to see Pena win, though. I just think she talks a better game, and that's better for promotion. But moving on to Bivol versus Beterbiev. Okay, so Dimitri Bivol has to be perfect in this fight. He cannot make a mistake against the power of Beterbiev. This is how I see it playing out. I think Dimitri Bivol needs to walk a tightrope. He cannot make mistakes. Beterbiev, on the other hand, he can afford to make mistakes because he has the great eraser in the power that he possesses in both hands, in any shot that he throws. He's not like a Deontay Wilder where, okay, you just have to look out for the right hand. No. Any punch that Beterbiev hits you with takes something out of you. And you see it in his fights. Every single time he lands a shot, whether it's in close in the clinch or at range, you see his opponent wince, and you see them get weaker over time. So Beterbiev, I would lean towards winning this fight. I think just because of the fact he doesn't have to be perfect for 12 rounds, whereas Bivol does. He's not allowed as many mistakes as Beterbiev will be allowed. So I'm going to go with Beterbiev in that one. Now, as for Topuria versus Holloway, my heart would really like to see Max Holloway get the job done, but my brain is telling me that Max Holloway has taken a lot of damage in his career. He has yet to be knocked out, but everybody has their day. Ilia Topuria is younger. He has less miles on him, less wear and tear on the body, less wear and tear on the brain, and he packs a punch. He's got really good movement. He's got really good power. He's got really good boxing skills for MMA. And he can grapple as well. I'm going to go with Ilia Topuria. I think Ilia Topuria is going to knock out Max Holloway. As much as it pains me to say it, Max Holloway does get hit a lot. He does not mind trading, as we saw in the Gaethje fight. He does not mind doing this. Now, is there a world, is it possible for Max Holloway to turn back the clock and, Topuria's up against the fence and he's getting teed off on and, it looks like an Anthony Pettis, Max Holloway stoppage? Yeah, sure, maybe. But I just think the younger guy is going to get it done. I think Max Holloway's been there before. Maybe Max Holloway's got some extra motivation because he wants to have a y'all must have forgot moment and he wants to remind the world who he is. But I don't know. I think it's Topuria's time right now. I really do. And I think he's surging with confidence, and I think he's going to go in there very confident but yet aware of who he's fighting, and he's going to knock out another legend. First Alex Volkanovski, and then he's going to knock out Max Holloway. That's how I see it happening, and I think our hearts will be broken. Moving on to Whittaker Chimaev. Oh, man, I've been waiting for this fight for so long. If it actually does happen, Hamzat something could happen, With this guy, we don't know. We really don't know. I'm on record saying that the UFC should have cut Khamzat Chimaev for how many times he's pulled out of fights and things like that, instead of rewarding him with a number one contenders fight against Whittaker. Whittaker took the fight on short notice against Aliskerov. He got the job done. I think it should have been Whittaker versus Sean Strickland for the number one contender fight, but fair enough. I'm not the one making the decisions. I just give the opinions. Now, in terms of the actual fight of who wins, if it's a 5-round fight, I'm going with Whittaker. If it's, and I think it is a 5-round fight. I'm pretty sure it is. Khamzat Chimaev, we have yet to see in the 5 rounds, but in the 3 rounds, we've seen him gas. We've seen him get tired. We've seen him look not himself in that 2nd round. We've seen him look not himself in that 3rd round. We've seen it already against guys that, I would say Whittaker's a level above a Gilbert Burns, right? I mean, this is former middleweight champion of the world. Probably the 3rd best middleweight ever. You got Israel Adesanya number 2, Anderson Silva number 1, and then you got Whittaker at number 3. That's how I would rank him. I think Whittaker's going to go in there. He's going to survive the storm, and if he survives the storm, Khamzat's in trouble, especially if this is a 5-round fight. Now, Khamzat Chimaev is clutch. He had a very clutch 3rd round takedown against Kamaru Usman in a fight that, in my opinion, he was losing. He needed that takedown. He was getting boxed up on the feet. That's another thing. Khamzat's hittable when he gets tired. He's real hittable. And I think Whittaker just capitalizes on that, man. So I'm going Whittaker on that one. Now, for Ngannou versus Ferreira. Okay, I'm going with Ferreira, bro. I'm going with Ferreira because Ferreira's the first person that you see Francis face off against, besides maybe Tyson Fury, right? Where, even then, not really. I think Ferreira's bigger than Fury. Where Ferreira makes Francis look little. Ferreira's a big dude. He's a big guy. He's a striker. He's a knockout striker as well. He can hurt you and finish you. And I just think the knockout that Ngannou suffered to Anthony Joshua happened back in March, I want to say. I think it happened in March or April. Let's just say March to be generous. You have to take a year off from a knockout like that. He got knocked down twice. The first time he got knocked down, he was concussed right there. And then he got knocked out cold, flatlined, which in my opinion is just double the brain trauma, right? If you get knocked down from a traumatic head injury right there, that's one. And then another traumatic injury finishes you, flatlines you. I mean, come on, that's compound interest if there ever was any. So I think Francis should have taken a year off. He did not. He came back, I want to say, 9 months or so, right? March, April, May, June, July, August. That's 5 months. September, October. 7 months. It's not great, bro. It's not great. And I think Francis is going to pay for that, and I think he will get knocked out again. Just my opinion. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. If you made it this far, leave a like. Follow for more if you enjoyed the time spent. All that stuff. I kind of messed up my outro on this. I only got a few seconds left here. But appreciate every last one of you. Thank you. You are all appreciated.